everybody, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. This is just some recent vinyl finds, some stuff that I've gotten here in the past few weeks that I'm adding to the collection. I thought I'd show you guys some really interesting, cool stuff. Before we get too deep into it, on the turntable we got Bob Dylan, Ceremonies of the Horsemen. This is the this comes from the Whitman demos, New York City, 1963. Really good, high quality acoustic demos from Bob Dylan. Really cool, really good stuff. I love this type of thing because it's like it's just really good acoustic stuff, and that's the best Dylan for me. As you notice, it says, kind of caught me off guard a little bit, Ceremonies of the Horsemen. So whoever made the bootleg, now I mean bootlegs are a little bit notorious for misspellings, just kind of as a loophole. Like you'll see Led Zeppelin, Zeppelin a lot of times. So if they did get caught, they didn't use the actual name or whatever, I don't know, kind of stupid, but this actually was a legitimate mistake. Ceremonies of the Horsemen was supposed to be the title of the album he did, Planet Waves, with the band, but they decided to call it Planet Waves instead. So that's why they named it this, because this bootleg came out around the same time, but they spelled ceremonies wrong. So you get a good look at that. Anyways, kind of funny. So I'll get right into a lot of this stuff. Comes from like trade-ins I got at my pop-up. This last time I got a ton of trade-ins, y'all. I think I came home with more records than I sold. That's no joke. I had over 400 records come in on trade, and very little of it was like dollar material. It was a lot of pretty good stuff. So a couple of these were found online. I don't do a lot of online shopping, but I browse and things happen. You've all been there. Anyways, this is one I thought I'd show you guys. I don't think I'm keeping this. I actually have two copies of this. This is a pretty rare record. It's with the Beatles. This is a German Odin pressing. You can see that gold strip right there. Really, really neat. I'll show you the back cover. And these are really, really cool and collectible, but the only problem with them is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some like bubbles and ripples in the vinyl. I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't affect the play. I have another copy that is much worse, but every one of these pressings have like a little bit of a vinyl quality issue. I don't know why. I don't know if they just pressed them wrong. I don't know. This one came in, and when it came in, I didn't think much of it because it's just a regular old Doors, self-titled. But it is actually, as you can see right there, mono. These mono copies are not too terribly common. You don't come across them too much, so I thought I'd keep that one just because Doors mono stuff's kind of sought after and a little bit hard to find sometimes. This, okay, this happens from time to time, but I found a box of records that I forgot I had. I got this huge space in here, and sometimes I'll have a box that I'll need to go through or whatever and just forget. So that sounds crazy to some of you, but it happens a lot. This is a picture disc called Juicy Groove. First Taste, yeah. So this is a 1978 hard rock band. They're kind of billed as stoner rock, hard rock, psychedelic rock. I'll let you get a very good look at that. And stoner rock would be a really good description of it. It's dark, it's deep, it's heavy. It's got some screaming vocals. It's really good though. I mean, I'm not, you know, too wild into stoner rock, but that's a really, it's got just the right mixture of psychedelic and it's really good. I like it a lot. This one is Iggy Pop. This was not in the best shape. It's on RCA. Iggy Pop Live 1977. It's called TVI. Show you the inner sleeve. So, called TVI. And you know, the former owner, Dave, was gracious enough to put his name on the cover. So thanks, Dave. Raven. I've been looking for this one for a while. This one came in on trade. A good buddy of mine traded it in. It's a 2i Columbia stereo. This is a really good blues rock record. Really enjoy this. Next is Aftermath of Stones. This is a mono copy. I didn't realize I did not have this record. I love this record. I've often said I'm not a Stones man, but actually today I was thinking about it, and I think I am. Mono copy. This is just essential. It's got painted black. It's got, I really like Going Home on this. Really great. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking today, I was watching Zeke the Vinyl Geeks live stream. He was talking about the Stones and how they had to make 6 records in 4 years under contract, and they just banged out 6 killer records. And I actually really do like the Stones now I think of it. Speaking of Stones, Sly and the Family Stone, Dance to the Music. Sly and the Family Stone stuff can come pretty easy, but the early stuff like this, you just don't see that much. This is an original on Epic. Been kind of looking for this for a while, so it's nice to get that. Thelonious Monk, Monk's Dream. The original 2i mono. I had one of these a while back, and I sold it to, I believe, Tunes from the Man Cave. If you're into jazz, guys, my friend Chris, very, very dear friend, I know I talk about him just about every video, but I know he doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but he puts out some great videos. He just put out a video about Lee Morgan, and the dude's showing records left and right that are like just super crazy grails, and like it ain't nothing. Just, the guy's got an amazing jazz collection that I've kind of helped him get. Anyways, really recommend his channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Tunes from the Man Cave is his name. Look him up. Alright, this is one I've been looking for a while, and I actually got 2 of them. The Paul Butterfield Blues Band, East West, on that original beautiful gold letter label. Like I said, it's one I've been looking for a while. It's got Elvin Bishop on it. It's got Mike Bloomfield on it, and of course Paul Butterfield. But this is a really great essential blues rock record, in my opinion. Moving right along, when last year when I sold a good chunk of my collection, it's actually about 2 years ago now. This is one that went with it that I thought I'd be able to find pretty easily, but just have been looking and haven't been able to find it. But got this copy. It's the original Gun, The Gun, on Epic. This is a great, man. This is a wild and crazy hard rock record. If you like stuff like Black Sabbath, I don't know, if you like just hard, that classic hard psychedelic rock, this is more, I mean, it's just hard rock, man. That's all I can say. It's screaming, crazy vocals, epic guitar riffs, deep bass. It's got it all. This is the package right here. But that first track, Race with the Devil, it is just smoking. Guys, if you haven't heard this record and you're in that type of thing, I would really highly suggest you take a look at it, because it is no joke. Alright, this next one, so I sold this one also during the purge. This is MC5, Kick Out the Jams, and this is an uncensored version, and you do not see it very often on the gold label. Usually you see it with the red label. Very early on in the pressing of this album, they switched over from gold to red, and I've actually seen some red labels that are uncensored. This is a gold label, it's uncensored. It depends on which plant it was pressed at, but anyways, there's a story behind this one, real quick. I know I get off on rabbit trails, but so this record, I had never heard of it before. I was digging at a guy's house. I was very new into digging, and we'll go to this guy's house. He lived in Asheville. The guy had just an incredible collection, man. I wish I could go back. I did not even know what I was getting. It's so good. But he had original 90s stuff. He had everything he had was just killer, epic stuff. And I would flip past this every time. At the time, I was broke, y'all. I had like a couple $100 on me all the time, and his rule was $5 a record, and get as much as you can afford. He actually was the first one to turn me on to Japanese pressings. His Japanese pressings were $20 a record, but I was able to get every single Led Zeppelin Japanese pressing from him, and he's the one who turned me on to it. Got the turntable I have now came from him. Just a really epic guy. Got to know him every time I go up to Asheville, which I go a lot. I'd stop by his house, buy a few $100s worth of records, and we'd sit and talk and hang out. But one of the last times I was able to go up there, he pulled this record out. He said, "You pass this every time. Do you know what it is?" And I said, "No." Is it good? And he's like, "Dude." And looking back, I can't believe I didn't know what it was. But at the time, I was very young, very new into records, didn't know anything about psych rock. I knew about all the good stuff, all the mainstream stuff. And he actually gave me this. He just said, "You can have it." He said, "I don't feel right about selling it." He said, "My aunt passed away. This was her copy from when she was a kid." And really funny story behind it. So, as you can see, the censored versions don't have all this writing and stuff in the middle, but the uncensored version does. And anywhere it says the F word on here, he said that his aunt's mom went in with an eraser, like a pencil eraser, and erased the F word. She found out that it had the F word in it, and she went in and erased the F word out of there. And when he said his aunt found out, she went back in and rewrote it over top. So really funny that that's what it has in it. But anyway, so I had sold this record during my purge, and a couple weeks ago I was thinking about it, and it was kind of one of those deals. He made me promise I would never sell it, and I got wrapped up into getting rid of everything, and I sold my turntable. I sold everything. I was done with records at that point. It was a couple years ago, and I sold that. And started talking to Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, and he had it. And I just said, if you ever decide to sell that record back, I would love to get that copy back. I really would like to have that copy. And he sold it back to me. So actually, I think he gave it to me. And I'm not sure if I gave it to him or not. I can't remember. But anyways, at any rate, we're going to go through. This is the last one that I got from the trade-ins. So this is Manfred Mann, Pretty Flamingo. This is the good stuff, the good Manfred Mann. This is a good psychedelic pop, psychedelic rock record. I know the early Manfred Mann stuff's pretty good, and I actually hadn't heard this one before I got it, but I put it on the turntable. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed both sides. It's a great record. I really like that. And then so the rest of this stuff. Oh. This is a newer record. At my pop-up, this guy brought me a whole crate of stuff. And this is going to sound crazy to you guys, but I had a whole crate of over 100 Beatles records at this last pop-up. Long story of how that happened. It was kind of a fluke that it would happen that way, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't want no more Beatles. I can't even handle all the Beatles I got right now. But I probably have 150 Beatles records for sale, not even counting what I have in my collection. So, which is crazy because they sell so fast, but I got so many all at once. This last pop-up, this guy comes in with a huge crate, half the crate's Beatles stuff, and I'm just roll my eyes like, oh. He's like, "You don't like the Beatles?" And I'm like, well, normally I would, but dang it, I'm drowning in it right now. So I was flipping through, we were talking about a deal and everything, and he's like, "I don't know if you've seen this record, but this is called The Bear Romantic, and it's an album called Firewood. It's got color vinyl and everything, and I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. Maybe some of you guys know what it was, but it's like a folk rock, 2012 folk rock record. He said it was a jam band. It's not. He said jam band, and I think he probably knows me, and I was like, sounds good to me. But he was wanting $40 for it, and I was like, I am not paying $40 for a record I've never even seen before. I said, I don't want it. I gave it back to him. He's like, well, I really want to sell this. I'm like, I don't want it. Take it back. I don't want it. I don't even want it. I want to look at it. I've never seen it. I don't know what it was. I'm not paying that much for it. He said, just look it up on Discogs. So I looked up on Discogs, and a copy sold for $80, and it's really rare and all this stuff. So I offered him something for it. I thought he'd turn it down. He didn't. So I offered him $5 for it because I was like, I don't want it. I don't sell on Discogs. Nobody's gonna know what this is. I'm probably not gonna like it. So he's like, well, I got it for $1 at Goodwill, so I'll take $5 for it. So I took it home, started listening to it, and I really, really like it. It's very, very enjoyable. I did not think I was gonna like it, but really, it's very ambient folk. Like I said, 2012. It's got some rocky elements to it, but a lot of earthy instruments and sounds, and like I said, there's an ambient quality to it that I really, really like. So if you're in that type of thing, maybe listen to it online before you go dropping $80 on a copy. But it's a beautiful variant on it. But from what I've heard and read online, it's pretty rare. So okay, the rest of this stuff is online stuff. So this was on eBay, and I kind of have a alert for a lot of this stuff. This was on my want list pretty high up. I've been looking for this for a long time. This is Ancient Greece, Women and Children First. It's Mercury original. It's an absolute beautiful copy. This is the US cover. There's also a UK cover that's worth like a ridiculous amount of money. But these go for I don't know, $100, something like that. And this guy posted it on eBay, and it said VG. So I messaged the guy. I was like, "Does it play well?" He's like, "Yeah, it plays great. It just has some issues." And I was like, "What are the issues?" He said, "It's just, I mean," he said, "the jacket's a little bit rough, whatever." I offered him $30 for it. I didn't think he would take it because I think he had like 50 or 60 on it. He accepted the $30. It's got a hole punch right here. Other than that, kid you not, I would say it's excellent. Close to near mint, the vinyl is. The cover's really not that bad. I think somebody would easily pay 80 to $100 for this thing, but I am not selling it. This is a blues hard rock record. It's got some really, really great guitar runs on it. Man, I really love this record. I've been looking for it for years, so I'm really, really glad to have a copy of that. This one I did a video on. You guys probably saw it. Coverdale Page. Been looking for this record since I was 15, 14 years old, something like that. Could never find it. 1993. This is original UK pressing. It is gorgeous, and it was sealed, and I opened it in my last video. This one I actually got at Lunchbox Records locally. I don't normally go to record shops and stuff because I get in trouble. But this was $8. This is if you don't know this record, it's Blodwyn, I guess that's how you say it, Blodwyn Pig, Head Rings Out. This is like prog rock, jazz rock type thing. There's some psychedelic elements to it. I really like it. Some people that are really super into Psych don't care for it. Some people love it. Different strokes for different folks. I like it. It's got some really good stuff to it. It's got some avant-garde elements. It's got some hard rock elements. It's really good. I like it. Oh shoot, that didn't put that last. This is one. This is called The Making of Friends. Is a 10-inch Led Zeppelin bootleg. This is from rehearsals and stuff when they were writing a lot of Led Zeppelin 3. Some of this stuff, a lot of this stuff was recorded in India. It's kind of some rough recordings, but you can tell that they were really just trying to find their sound on Led Zeppelin 3 with this. You got, it's funny, they call Immigrant Song Immigrant Sons. And so you can hear, like, when they're doing, Robert Plant singing the vocals to it, it's totally different than the Immigrant Song that we know. Out of the Tiles is a little bit different. Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? Check that cover. Hey, Hey, What Can I Do is a lot different too. Some of the vocals and lyrics are even different. But he sings those. You don't hear Hey, Hey, What Can I Do live, ever. You just don't hear that. So that's pretty cool. There's a couple other things. This is called Bombay Symphony Orchestra. This is what side 2 is called, but it just sounds like, and I'm really not sure the background behind that recording, but it just sounds like he's Robert Plant and Jimmy Page are playing with some really super Indian sounding musicians. I mean, it's you know, I don't forget what the Indian drum's called with that rubber ring in the center, but it's very distinct Indian stylings and stuff. So that's really cool. I've been looking for that for a long time. Found this really great deal on this. This is a Japanese pressing of Physical Graffiti. I already had a Japanese pressing, but it wasn't the one I wanted because I'm weird. So this is the one I really wanted. This is a great copy, beautiful shape. Everything's perfect on it. It's just wonderful in every way. This last one, guy had it, buy it now for 20 bucks. This is a mint white label promo of Skull and Roses. Well, you see the so this is just, man, this album, there's a promo sticker on the front. I'm not usually like really into promo stuff. I mean, I do have quite a few promos now I think about it. It's not something I seek after like crazy or anything, but that was mint. It was in great shape. It was a promo of a really great album that I love. So I sold my copy, bought that, and broke even. So I'm not going to complain about that. And then this one's one actually, I don't think I showed, but I got it a while ago. It's a Japanese pressing of Rain Dogs. Really, really incredible copy. It sounds amazing. Really glad to have it. And then this last one, I debated even putting this in the video because there's just so much I could say about it. This is a guy, his name that he goes by is Sleeping at Last. His real name's Ryan O'Neal, but the band is called Sleeping at Last, but it's just him. He hires other musicians and his friends to work on his albums and stuff like that. This is a 3-album set called Atlas, Year 1. And I'll show you what some of the vinyl looks like. So there's the cover. It comes with a hard cover. It's a 3 LP set. His idea of for this record was amazing. You've got tracks like, so the first side's called Darkness. The second side's called Light. So the third side's called Space. It's got tracks like Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Moon, Mars. Side D is Space 2, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Side E is called Land, North, South, East, West. And side F is called Oceans, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic. But he just writes, this entire series is just about the Earth. So that's why it's called Atlas. But the lyrics are not about like water and that stuff. It's very metaphorical. It's incredible music. This is the booklet that came with it, with all the lyrics and paintings and art and stuff. Really cool. So I'll show you what some of the vinyl looks like. This is like a dark blue splatter. That's like a really sweet color variant. And then this is the most beautiful disc, I think. It's a teal. But there's a lot I can say about this, and I may do another video about this. But this album has inspired me more than any other record that I've listened to, maybe like in the last decade. As far as an artistic expression, very few records do I hear it and like want to just stop and go get my guitar and write music. This is one that's like that for me. Long story short, a lot of you guys might know, this past summer, we had an opportunity to get some treatment for my son who's autistic, and we drove from North Carolina to New Mexico, and we had this crazy road trip. But during the course of this trip, I discovered this album. And so it's really, really special to me. You know, we drove all over the country. We went to Zion National Park. We went to the Grand Canyon. We stayed in Arizona. We stayed on the edge of a canyon in Arizona, surrounded by livestock. We stayed in a lot of crazy places to save money, and like we lived in a van in different Airbnb places and all this stuff, all the way there and back. But just during the course of that trip, just hearing this album, it's just like, it was life-changing. The guy is an absolute incredible genius of a songwriter. The way he puts words is just amazing, and his music's incredible too. It's ambient type music. I can't put a whole lot more to it than that. But the guy has written some of the most incredible songs. If you want to get a good taste, I say one to really cut your teeth on would be called Saturn. It's on this album. It's called Sleeping at Last. It's called Saturn. So, I mean, some of you guys that are into psych rock and stuff might not be into that. But it's just, man, it's so good. There's so much I could say about it. But the guy does a podcast, and he writes music continually. He comes out with a new track and puts it on iTunes about once or twice a week. It's crazy. The guy is phenomenal. He's just an incredible artist. But anyways, I won't go any more into it than that. I don't want to build it up too much for you. But for me, that album is extremely significant and incredible just to my story. And it's something that inspires me to create, which is what music's all about. So anyways, I would highly recommend that. That's a 3 LP box set that I bought off their website. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't babble on too long. And the contest is going great. Really enjoying seeing you guys' videos and meeting a bunch of new people that I didn't know watched my videos. And just, it's been incredible. I wish I did a contest sooner. So anyways, thank y'all so much. See you soon.